Ahora invitamos por favor al señor Juan Pablo Caballero, Global Sales Director de Quima, quien hará un análisis de los arribos de los arándanos sudamericanos. Juan Pablo.
Juan Pablo, ¿sí? Sí. ¿Lo quieres sin el puntero láser? ¿Cómo? ¿Lo quieres sin el puntero láser? Sí, exacto. Ahí está bien. Gracias, perfecto. Muchas gracias.
Good afternoon. As Gustavo said, I am Juan Pablo Caballero from Quima Produce. And before going into this analysis of arrivals of South American shipments, we would like to thank Jersen Group and the Blueberry Board. And Quima is a leader of quality in real time, and we have three significant approaches. We do inspection of textiles, toys, and electric devices and left science. We do quality control for the others, and we are present in 96 countries and 500,000 active clients and offices scattered around the world. We are the leader of quality control of blueberries from Peru, Chile, Morocco, Argentina, Mexico. We have over 50% of the inspections of the blueberry market, and in the season 2022-2023, we made many of these inspections. What we are going to review throughout this presentation is first a description of our collaborations with the blueberry board, and also the quality and the time of transit based on the quality per destination, and the final comparison of the quality of the container and the cold storage ship. First, I will tell you what we are doing with the board. As of 2021, we are working with this blueberry board, and we do inspection in over 30 locations in Chile, and basically from the region of Coquimbo to Los Lagos. And we have 42 associates in this season. We do the inspection of 12 different defects, and we classify the fruits as compliant and non-compliant. And we also check the food safety conditions of each one of the plants. Weekly, we report to the board, and we give the reporting for the quality of exports and the food safety of the plants, and we create other analysis when the board requires us to do so. At the end of the season, we create the final report, and the results include the in-depth analysis of each one of the variety, the performance in each one of the geographical areas, and so on. And also in the technical sessions, we analyze in depth all of these analysis of origin and destination. To start, what happens with the quality at destination? First of all, we would like to tell you that when considering the production of Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Morocco, they have as destination Asia, 32% to Europe, and 56% to United States. You can see in the purple bars the distribution of our inspections: 10% in Asia, 17% in Europe, and almost 73% in the United States. And we see how we do the inspections at the places where the fruits are exported. It's important to tell you about the sampling, seeing the blueberries are highly variable. We do these by air transportation or ship transportation lots and batches, and we have the date of packaging, and that's why it is very important to have the clear-cut information in the packing list to find all of those elements and to do the good sampling. To give you an idea, we take around 10 of these elements, and as we check problems, we are able to go deeper into the sampling to see what is happening with the fruits in those batches. Then we can the QMA score, which is something allowing to do a comparison of different producers, exporters, and even countries. And basically what it does is giving a score from 1 to 100, including the broad, the peduncle sensitiveness, or if it is soft, and other factors. And here we see what happens with the scoring of quality conditions in the United States. You can see in the blue bars that show the situation of Peru, and then the green Mexico, and the green bars corresponding to Chile. So this is the basis for the inspection of the week 27 and down to the 11, where we stop to do the analysis for this presentation. And Mexico starts to appear in our inspections in the 24th week and up to the 11, and gradually. Chile is present as of the 41st week down to the 11th week, and the inspections take place by the 48th week. You will see now that these QMA show the blue for Peru, the green line is Mexico, and the red line is Chile. We can see that Peru is quite stable throughout the season, and the same happens with scores. And Mexico has a better performance compared to Peru in the week number 41, 42, 43, and as of the 52nd, Mexico surpasses the other countries. Chile, only at the beginning and for 4 weeks, is able to surpass Mexico and Peru. But as the inspection increases, we see that the scores go below the curves for Mexico and Peru. If we do the same analysis with Europe, this time we're going to focus on Chile and Peru, because this volume is very low, and the blue bars are for Peru and the red ones for Chile. Peru starts on the 27th week with the inspection we did on the 11th, and Chile starts in the 46th week, and we see the same performance as compared to Peru. That is to say, Chile is overcoming here and stable considering all the volumes. In the case of Chile, we see a drop when the volume starts to increase, and unlike the United States, in any case, overcomes Peru. Once again, we do the same exercise for Asia, and then we have Peru, red for Chile, and Peru started 28th, or Chile the 40th till the 11th week, and we can observe here that the scores of Peru drop more significantly compared to the United States, and it happens when there is a higher degree of inspection. Chile and the United States have 5 weeks over or exceeding Chile, and they are lower most of the time. What we try to reflect here are the average scores attained by the countries and the volumes inspected by country according to the origin. Basically, we have the analysis of the inspections that were conducted for both Peru and Chile, and we can stand out here in terms of volume that Chile is dropping one season after the other. In the 2021, we saw that the 45% was inspected. In the season 22, 23, 3%, and then 25%. As we can see, this is basically an analysis of Peru and Chile, but we see how it is increasing relatively in the case of Peru. And Europe, and the percentages of inspection decreased to 30%, and we have this season, next season, by 38%. In Asia, as in Peru, we see that situation is stable around 18%. And if we pay close attention, we can see that we have here the average scores. And in the averages for the United States, it shows an improvement regarding the previous season, and additionally a better performance compared to the season 2021. And then in Europe, we see an improvement, but it does not exceed the previous result. In Asia happens the same as in the United States, with better scores, 84, 74, 81. And Chile, on the other hand, we see that is lower down, and the performance is closer to Peru, as in this season. Previous season in the United States, we exceeded the previous season result, but not compared to 2021. And this is the same pattern in Europe, with lower averages, while in Asia is an intermediate situation. But Chile does not surpass what happens in the previous season. And now here we show you the result for the 2023. We see towards United States and Europe, and Chile shows more dispersion or spread of these rates. And in the case of Chile, it has a 48 up to 98 points. Peru from 70 to 100 points, and in Europe in a range that from 30 to 70. Peru in this particular case, 57, 88. In Asia, we see that there is a lot of a spread, 0 to 90, that is to say inspections with very bad fruit and very good fruit. In the case of Chile and in the case of Peru, is from 40 to 85.
Some good news. The transit times, as you can see, for the 2021-2022 season, and depending on the destinations, times have been able to decrease their transit times. Chile, for example, in the case of Asia, went from 42 to 36. Peru from 49 to 42. This is the date of packaging until the date of inspection. So we include the moment in which the fruit was packaged and inspected. So we can see how the timings have improved, and we can see how this affects quality as well. Quality in terms of the against transit times, we see in the U.S. we classify the fruits in 5 main groups. Blue is excellent, good is green, acceptable, fair in yellow, poor in orange, and red is bad. So the black line is the volumes in which the inspections are concentrated, and the transit times, they go from the packaging date until the inspection. So we can see here that we separate basically this, we divided it in 3 zones in the U.S. In the center of the country, inspection has a time of inspection in less than 20 days from packaging to inspection, and here the average is 3.2. This is pushed by Mexico mainly. In the case of end here, it's interesting to see that 33% is good, 33 fair, and 28 poor and bad. If we go to the East Coast in the United States, we see that the transit times are concentrated in 21 to 30 days, and 60% of the fruit is good, 30% is fair, and 20% poor and bad. In the case of the West Coast, inspections have a time of inspection of 21 to 30 days, 87 good, 10% fair, and 3% poor and bad. Here it's much easier to see that in the East and West Coast, there's a clearer trend of how the transit times decreases quality and condition of the fruit. The same exercise was done for, well, basically we verified the sources, Mexico, Chile, and Peru. In the case of the mid-west of the country, Mexico has inspection in less than 20 days and 3 days for packaging, transportation, and inspection. Mexico, on the other hand, does that in less than 20 days. And its average time was 6.4 days. Peru, inspections take from 21 to 30 days and an average of 25.4 days. And the quality, as you see, decrease as the transit times increase. The west coast, Chile has inspections of 21 to 30 days. They have increased, and here the average is 33 days. Mexico, less than 20 days and at 3.4 days average. In Peru, once again, 21 to 30 days with a 28.4 average. We can see here that the quality decreases as the transit time increases. The next slide shows the transit times to Europe. The peak of inspected pallets are concentrated in 21 to 30 days, 27.8 in average. And the graph on the right shows that Chile concentrates their inspected volumes in 28 days, a bit higher than the United States, and Peru concentrates on between 21 and 30 days with 25.1 days in average. Here, once again, we can see how the quality decreases as the times increase. In Asia, we see a different picture. We here have, for the first time, excellent fruit, and a higher volume of inspected fruit are concentrated in the 31 to 50 days range. The most volume are concentrated in 31 to 40 days, and in Peru, 41 to 50. We must highlight that the transit times in Chile improved by using the Cherry Express, and it's now 36.9. However, Chile, despite having less transit time, does not translate that into quality, into higher quality compared to Peru. And we can see here, once again, that the quality decreases as the transit time increases. The quality of fruits that travel in chambers compared to containers. Here we can see that we expected 18% that arrived in chambers versus 82%. In general, the transit times here haven't shown any difference. Both arrived in 30.2 days. There are very marginal differences, and it's interesting to see that we can think that the fruits that travels in chambers, they could take longer to reach the freezing plants, but there's no difference actually. The proportion of fruit, poor and bad fruit, for those that traveled in chambers is higher, 40 times 27.3%. Of those that travel in containers. However, containers is not a solution because more than 50% of the container fruits has reached this destination with fair quality. So it would be interesting to run tests to understand the technologies and to see what really happens, because this is just a snapshot of the reality, but I'm sure things can be improved. What are the main reasons for having fair, poor, and bad? fruit in chambers and containers. We believe that it's important to highlight and to that fair and or regular fruit there's more rejection of this type of fruit. Those that have traveled in chambers, 35% of those classified as fair has to do with rotting or fungus infections and sensitive issues or sensory issues. And in fruits in containers, the defects that makes it classified as fair is 36.6% of sensory or sensitive fruits and 16 fungus infected. And cold storage fruits classified as fair, poor, and bad, 26.8% is a product of sensitive fruit, 33% of fungus infection, and 16.6 soft or damaged fruit. And this 66.4% sensitive and 7.86 fungus infection. This is once again what triggers its classification as fair, poor, and bad fruit. The main defects in cold storage and containers, we can say that the main ones is soft fruit and followed by dehydration, and here 1.6% for container fruit versus or cold storage versus containers, that is 1.1. Rotting, it's mainly the same, 0.16 for cold storage fruit versus 0.17 for container, and fungus 0.20 for cold storage versus 0.08 for containers. So it's a larger difference there. So as conclusions of this brief overview of the 2022 season, first, I'd like to tell you that the higher the transit times, the worse the quality will be. Transit times improved compared to last season. This is a fact. Chile has reaches Asia in less time, but its transit times to Europe and the US are still higher than Peru and, of course, Mexico. There is an important difference of Chilean scores and Peruvian scores compared to the averages in the last 3 seasons, and a high variability of scores obtained by Chile. So it's very good fruit, at the same time very bad fruit. Organoleptically speaking, the Chilean fruit is well accepted in the market, but in terms of quality, it also generates some level of rejection. On the other hand, our inspectors report that there are differences in quality in the packaging material versus other sources, and we believe that this also has to do with a better or worse quality of the fruit. And as it was said before, there is a decrease of commercial windows. Therefore, a higher quality of fruit is a key aspect in order to keep good performance. So this is what I had to share with you, and I hope that I have been able to provide you with an overview of what happened in the last season. Thank you.